Hi, you're watching Money Control, and I'm Shweta Punch. The big story that we're tracking today is the stepping down of Mr. Deepak Bagla, the managing director and CEO of Invest India. Invest India is country's premium institution that's whose mandate was to facilitate investments into the country. And Mr. Bagla had become a poster boy of what New India aspired to be seen as. He often spoke about the Invest India story as a story driven by the ambition of India to become an important, a big investment destination for companies and countries across the world. He often spoke about how Invest India was run. It was run like a startup. That's something that he would often refer to. He was very proactive in pitching Invest India and the work done by Invest India. However, an audit that was started about a year ago by the Ministry of Commerce revealed that Mr. Bagla was overstating the contribution of Invest India in the India growth story as an FDI destination. There was a lot of talk about how India had emerged as a hot favorite for FDI, bringing in FDI into the country, and somewhere Mr. Bagla overstated the role of Invest India. There are also allegations that there was nepotism being practiced at Invest India, where a lot of children of a lot of bureaucrats were given assignments, important assignments, where competence was not as rewarded as perhaps connections. These are, of course, we are picking these things up from sources who are working within Invest India currently, from bureaucrats, ex-bureaucrats at the Commerce Ministry who have looked into the work done by Invest India. So this is completely driven by sources. We have reached out to Invest India for an official comment. We are yet to hear back from them or from the Commerce Ministry on what their findings, if they're going to make their findings official or not, or officially declare their findings. There were concerns raised about the amount of money and focus that Invest India was putting into publicizing their work. We have a snapshot of the audit which showed that in terms of the targets set and in terms of the actual delivery on those targets, there was a huge gap, and also there was a decline over the years from 2017, 2018 to 2021, 2022. The prospects were identified by Invest India, which was a job of Invest India to identify prospects for investments into the country and then to work on those targets and then to finally facilitate. So, while budgets and allocations for Invest India went up, specifically for this, but in terms of delivery or execution or facilitation of investments, there was a decline. And this is something that was highlighted in the audit report. And concerns were raised in the audit report that the main work of Invest India is one, to identify targets, and then second is to facilitate investments. And the report said that there was a concern that Invest India had declined on both of those counts over the years. I have some numbers with me which I'll share. In terms of prospects that were identified for the year 2017 2018, 530 prospects were identified, of which the conversion rate was 52%. Then 2018-2019, about 656 prospects were identified, of which 369 were ultimately targeted and 230 were facilitated. As of 2019-2020, 381 prospects were identified, 295 were targeted, and 240 were eventually facilitated. In 2020-2021, 944 prospects were identified, 400 were targeted, and ultimately 184 were facilitated. Having said that, the direct expenditure on investor targeting went up from 12.62 crores in 2017-2018 to 15.04 crores in 2020-2021. Also, we've picked up from our sources that there was a lot of emphasis on publicity. Long meetings were held to discuss the kind of tea that would be served or the kind of wine that should be served, besides the work that should actually happen at Invest India, there was also a lot of talk about the place not being run as professionally, that which was expected. Of course, we are picking all this up from people who work within Invest India, who are currently in Invest India, and also people who have left Invest India. So overall, this has been something. This cleanup act of Invest India started in 2021 when Mr. Anurag Jain was appointed as the secretary of DPIT, where he came from the PMO, and that's when he raised some flags, red flags. He raised a red flag on a big contingent that went from Invest India for the World Economic Forum in Davos, the Davos meeting. There, a contingent of 18 people was taken from Invest India, and reportedly they all flew business class, and they all stayed in five-star hotels. So Mr. Jain reportedly raised concerns about such a big contingent and the need for such a big contingent to go. So that's when really a cleanup of sorts had started in West India. Of course, this morning Mr. Bagla addressed his team and said that he would be stepping down as MD and CEO, and a new MD and CEO will be appointed in the next 2 to 3 weeks. You can catch the entire story, all the details on our website, moneycontrol.com. Thanks for watching.